Welcome back, everybody. This is actually going to be an exciting build. But what do you mean exciting build? This is the most basic of basics, and actually that's why it's exciting for me. This is the first time I've actually had an opportunity to build I would say one of the most affordable computers with integrated graphics from AMD. This is during the time of the human malware event, and people are really wanting cheap, affordable computers to actually work from home that are not slow, and that gives them a pathway to upgrading. So this is the Ryzen 3. This is the 2200G, 3.7 gigahertz boost. Well, that's a max boost clock, and then we have a 3.5 gigahertz base clock. And so there's 4-core, no simultaneous multi-threading in this. And then again, this is the basic of basics: 8 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz from G.Skill, and an inline Pro SSD, 240 gig. And then we have a Thermaltake 5-year warranty, continuous power supply from Thermaltake. The Smart Series is really good, really affordable. And the motherboard. Now the motherboard I could have gotten cheaper, but you know, you don't want to go too cheap on the motherboard. There are some 320 motherboards out there, but some may have to be flashed, etc., etc. So I didn't really want to deal with any of that. And also, this customer had older monitors, so this motherboard is the Prime 450M-A from Asus, and let's see what it has. I chose this because it has the 3 video outputs. Basically, it has HDMI, VGA, and DVI, and so that covers all your bases, basically. And so here is the board itself. So let's take it out of the bag. Okay. So it's pretty light, but it does have the M.2 slot on top, and one PCI Express, and there's no PCI, so there's no legacy PCI, just PCI Express 16, and then you have your other 2 down the bottom here. You have audio front panel. This is the COM. Can you see what that is? Oh, TPM. And we have USB, and then we have your USB 3 front panel, and all the SATA are flat, which is kind of interesting. And then we have a few SATA up here too. So pretty nice layout. Looks like there is, well, the fan headers are on top actually. So we have a chassis fan, CPU fan right on top. What an odd place to put the chassis fan. And then we have one more chassis fan on the side here, which is nice though. But then, and as you see here, this is not going to be an overclocking beast or anything like that, and it's not meant to be. So we have 2 PS2, and then DVI, VGA, HDMI. So pretty good for the money. And so that's going to all go into a Thermaltake Versa H17 case. And let me get that out. Actually, I already have it. out, and I'm going to just put it on the table here so that we can see. It's the first time I've used this case, and so I'm hoping it's going to be a good buy. You never know until you just open it up and try to build it. But here I have it already already have it out. So pretty much standard. It's not a bad looking case. I didn't think it was going to be like I didn't think it was going to be this good looking actually. I thought it was going to be very cheap looking, but it's a nice case for like an office case. So this is a micro ATX, and what I like about this is that, look at this on top. We have, I'm going to put the camera up a little bit. We have a 120 millimeter on top, but look, there's a magnetic filter on top, so which is really nice, and it's flush, it's even, nicely made. Here's the back. So the back is pretty nice. Big fan in the back. So I don't think there is a fan in the front. And let's take off the side panels and see what we have in there. So the left panel, I'm curious to see how much room we have in terms of cable management. And so pretty thick, you know, for the money. I believe this is like a $50, $60 case, but not bad, very good. I'm happy so far, because here we have a very deep area for cable management. And look at the bottom. Good, that's really nice. And so far so good, I think. And let's go to the side. This may be, if this is good enough quality, this may be one of my go-to cases now. Get the side panel off. Pretty decent, not much flex. And here we go. Oh, nice. Okay, so we've got a very spacious interior here, and we have mounting points for 2 SSDs on top here. And so SSD, and then we have it looks like this is just an SSD only deal here. I want to say that on the bottom here is where a 3.5-inch hard drive can go, but I'm a little bit surprised that I don't see anything like that. But as I build the case, I'm sure it's going to be more apparent to me. But let's see if there's any flex. And this is rocks. There is no flex. Oh, awesome. So the rigidity afforded by this bent sheet metal here to the back and the front, there is no wobble. There is no flex. Yeah, awesome case. This may be one of my go-to cases now. And that's what we want. When you want a reliable case, you don't want it to wobble. You don't want it to flex at all or anything like that. Pretty good for the money, I think. Well, I'll build it, and then we'll see how it looks and how it performs. Okay, so the system is built. I actually really do like the case. The case is really rock solid. There is one gripe, I guess. It's strange why they didn't do this. This is typically where they would have a hard drive caddy. Well, on this particular case, there's only punch outs where you would put rubber grommets and install one 3.5-inch hard drive in here. So it's a little bit strange, but you're limited to one. So make it a 4 terabyte if you really want mechanical storage. Otherwise, the rest is set up for two 2.25-inch bays up here. So. For SSDs or laptop drives. But considering the new motherboards where you can actually get install a M.2, it will be fine. So technically, one M.2, 2 SSDs, and a mechanical drive down there, which is more than plenty enough. When putting the case together, this build together, I really kind of did appreciate the case, so there's the punch outs are a little bit strange. I wish there were more. I guess you could route them out from over here, but look at this. They even thought about this, doing a cutout here, but they didn't have to. But yeah, then you can see whatever labeling on the power supply here. The case is really rock solid, strong, and so it would be, I guess it would be nice to have a side panel option, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could do that yourself. In terms of airflow, I can't tell you much about that because we didn't install any fans in the front, and I'm not sure about radiator space. I don't think this is gonna be big enough to hold any kind of radiator in here. So if you do anything, it's gonna be the rear mounted one. So, but in terms of the system itself, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Again, we didn't really get the cheapest motherboard because this motherboard I chose specifically for the fact that it had HDMI, DVI, and VGA outputs on it. So it's again the VRMs are not anything to write home about either. There's no heat sinks on them or anything like that. So it's definitely meant for like a stock performing CPU or CPU usage and such. But that is the read writes on this SSD, and not the best, but it is what it is. And I'm not sure if these are DRAM cache-less, I'm not sure at all. Maybe. But otherwise the computer itself performs very well. And you can't really complain because, quite frankly, this build only costs a little bit over $300. To get a little bit over $300, and again, for something like this where you have a very usable and very capable little system here for business and internet usage, and you have the power to expand, in terms of adding a graphics card and more memory. or a faster SSD to it, you really can't beat the what you get, for the buck here. So I particularly am, very happy about how the build turned out. Windows 10 Pro is activated and it's all set for the customer to take home. So, I would recommend it. I would recommend this, especially now that people may be looking for more affordable, reliable computers. You really can't go wrong with this setup. Any questions or comments, please post them at the bottom of the video.